Hello there, I'm Mark. Welcome to the channel. If you've been here before, double welcome. And if this is your first time, please, if you like what you hear or what I say, subscribe and all of that. It does help. Thank you. I happen to live about an hour north of Auckland here in New Zealand. And I'm blessed with 2 or 3 shops that I know of that are just superb emporiums, is that the word? Of books, old books. And I've recently been into the one in Devonport called Bookmark. He's actually, the guy who runs it is an ex-Royal Marine and probably served at the same time I did. I wonder if he was in the Falklands, I didn't ask. So I've got a book haul which you have seen on the thumb. And really, it's not so much about the books themselves, I'll show you what they are, but it's also in praise of old books. I'm a sucker for old books. I just can't get enough of them. But especially ones this size. Now, this is the King James Bible. That's the whole Bible, Old and New Testament, in that one book. And again, I just want to re-emphasize, I love theology. I have a degree in theology. I've even taught religious studies, but I'm not religious. I think there's many paths to the Godhead, or whatever you wish to call it. But this fascinates me because it's that old style 18th century size that just fits in the hand. And I just wish there'd be more of these published today. I mean, they are. Here's one example. But most of them tend to be this size, don't they? Airport A4 or something like this. And that's all well and good, but when it's all that's being published mainly, it's nice to have a bit more variety. Anyway, rant over. I got this. This is Don Quixote, which is a huge piece of work. And yet, it's all in here. Just a superb size to carry around in your pocket and read at leisure. I'm going to start reading this one. This is definitely one that I will do a video on. In fact, I've already started. This will be my second go around with Don Quixote. And I must admit, the one I had before was a huge book. And it was in 2 parts, 2 separate books, I believe, originally. Didn't really care for it after a certain point. I didn't get the type of literature it was. Again, I was a bit too young. But definitely going to read this one and looking forward to it. Tilting windmills and all that. What else I got on this book haul is this. As soon as I saw it, I thought, right, I'm going to get it. I saw the movie recently, the black and white movie with Alec Guinness. Brilliant, and Noel Coward. I wonder if the same kind of humour in the film is also in the book. Because I've read Brighton Rock by Graham Greene. He's a certain type of, well, quite dark. And he picks up on seedy sides of life. So, interesting to read this one. I know that the conceit, well, he actually doesn't call it a novel. He calls it an entertainment. Okay? Let's see how entertaining it is. That's definitely one I'll be talking about later. Got this one as well. The Collected Works of Dr. Johnson. Actually, the reason I decided to get this is not because he talks about notes on Shakespeare, which I'll be talking about The Tempest shortly. There's parts where he goes to Scotland. And if I'm correct, I might be wrong, but if I'm correct, I think he's famous for, did he not say about oats, which might be in here? You know, the stuff that makes porridge. He said they're all well and good for horses and the Scots. So, the wit of Dr. Johnson, I'm hoping that comes out. This is a beast. I love the history of really the I would say the Russian Revolution up until World War II. And it's a personal pleasure of mine. It's not pleasurable to read about all the war and horror, but I find it very interesting. And this one is well used. It's a bit grotty. and I've read parts of this. I'm sure this was distilled into some kind of snippets in a book I read somewhere. So again, I'll start looking at this, and who knows, a future episode. But it's so big, so in a way convoluted, because I do know for a fact this will be similar to a book I read about the Spanish Civil War, in which the author tends to talk about all the political parties using their acronyms, and you lose, well, I lose very quickly. Who's this party? Who's the cadets and all that? So there may be that in the reading of that book. It may be quite dense, and you don't know who the people are. It often helps myself to find out a picture of them, if there is one, so I can imagine in my mind's eye who these people were and the kind of personalities. You can only imagine that, but anyway, I am rambling now. And this one, as soon as I saw it, this is a bargain. And the reason being is because it was two versions. One much more expensive because it had the piece on the top here. But this one's missing. So it was almost $20 cheaper. And I believe it's the actual first, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Yeah, it is. It says it here. I should have looked. The first 10 penguins ever published. And there's a little bit of detail about the authors. I wonder if they're all here, actually. So that's... Oh, yeah, it runs on. Oh, look at this. Didn't even know this was in here. Look at this. Woohoo! That's really nice. You don't get that kind of stuff anymore. So some of them in here I know of. The Mysterious Affair at Styles. That's Agatha Christie. A Farewell to Arms, Ernest Hemingway. So I'm really interested in this because I saw a video of a guy who, in Plymouth, Devon, the UK where I used to live, there was a bookstore there, second-hand bookstore. And that guy now has got his own booktube channel. And he highlighted all of these, the first 1,000 that were printed. You can never read them all in one lifetime, I don't think. But anyway, what a great find. So that's just an update on Book Haul. That's, with all the stuff I'm reading so far, there's just a wall of books here now, and it's going to take ages. But you know, what I'd like to talk about is that it's that delight of that second-hand book. Yes, there could be problems. Now, I've just randomly chosen this one. I'm not saying this is the case here. There's certainly a smell still there of the paper, but sometimes if it's been in someone's attic or worse, and you find it and you buy it, it could be overpowering, the smell. But these aren't dog-eared. There's no stains on them. Really good quality. This is William by E.H. Young. Never heard of the thing, but anyway. If it's good enough for Penguin, then it's going to be good enough for me. So, second-hand books, they're a delight, and they're the gift that keeps giving. So I'm going to do the tag of in praise of second-hand books. For all I know, it may already exist. And I'm going to start tagging some people to do the same. What kind of second-hand books do you like, if at all? Forgive the conceit, I'm new to this, so hopefully someone will answer and do something similar. So I'm in a happy mood. It was absolutely bucking it down yesterday with rain. It was a miserable day here in Auckland, New Zealand. Not as cold as it is on the South Island, though. And so it was just a pleasure to go into that bookshop. All the quiet, it's as quiet as a library, little nooks and alleyways. It's quite big, this shop I went into. And it's literally, really crammed to the ceiling, and it's a high ceiling with books. Old folio society books, old second-hand novels. They got rare collections tucked away that you can go and look at if you ask. Some are quite old, some are first editions and whatever. A lot of military because the owner is ex-Marine. So it's perfect for me because Devonport is the naval base in New Zealand. So it's fantastic. So there you go. Thanks for listening.